and welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, a delegation of the Nigeria's president met with the top management of Ethiopian Airlines to address various trade relations issues. The delegation, led by the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency (NIA), Ahmed Abubakar, to address the issues raised by the airline. The Ethiopian Airlines had raised a number of issues which could affect its operations and relations with Nigeria. After the meeting in Addis Ababa, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and International Relations, Shola Enikon Olaye, briefed State House correspondent, Ethiopian Airlines is one of the largest carriers flying into Nigeria. And still on Monday, following the rising cost of price of goods and services in the country, Nigerians have lamented over the cost of standard of living. Traders and consumers called on governments to help subsidize food in the country which is obtainable in other countries. In recent times, Nigerians find themselves caught in the grip of an alarming rise in the cost of living, with a surge in prices of essential goods and household commodities, leaving many citizens grappling with financial hardship. Citizens renowned for resilience now facing a multifaceted challenge. A soaring inflation directly impacts the daily lives of the people. One of the most glaring concerns is the escalating cost of food, a staple that forms the foundation of every household. Basic food items such as rice, beans, vegetables and meat have experienced significant price hikes, sending shockwaves through local markets and leaving consumers with depleted purchasing power. And on Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu hinted at plans by his administration to create millions of jobs by unlocking the value of Nigeria's vast public asset, with a view to optimizing and doubling the country's gross domestic product (GDP). According to him, with economic revitalization as its top priority, the federal government has a target of raising at least $10 billion in order to increase foreign exchange liquidity that will in turn stabilize the naira. The president disclosed this on Tuesday in Abuja during the inaugural Public Wealth Management Conference organized by the Ministry of Finance Incorporated (MOFI) with the theme Championing Nigeria's Economic Prosperity. President Tinubu, who was represented at the event by Vice President Kashim Shettima, highlighted a low-hanging fruit of identifying, consolidating and maximizing returns on government-owned assets worth trillions of naira. Reading the President's keynote address, the Vice President stated that the federal government set a goal to raise at least $10 billion in order to increase foreign exchange liquidity, a key ingredient to stabilize the naira and grow the economy. And still on Tuesday, Nsukka Zone of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to take a cursory look at the plight of Nigerian public universities and its workers, with a view to finding lasting solutions to it. The Nsukka Zonal Coordinator of ASU, Comrade Raphael Amoka, made the allowance and reviewed the 2009 draft agreement to ease the burden of varsity lecturers and workers in the country, while calling on the federal government for the disengagement of universities from IPPIS, where new or old, says adequate funding of public universities is more expedient and not the proliferation of more private universities, which further drops the quality of education. The union, which declares implicit confidence in the national leader of ASU, described as unacceptable where universities have been turned into business centers, observed a review of varsity's curriculum can only be done by the Senate and not Nigeria Universities Commission, just as a kick against the National Assembly interference in TET Fund. And on Wednesday, former head of state Yakubu Gowon called on Nigerians to be patient with the Tinubu-led administration over the current hardship in the country. General Gowon gave the advice while fielding questions from State House correspondents after a brief meeting with the president at the State House Presidential Villa, Abuja. He expressed optimism that the situation will abate with time since the administration is still at the formative level. He recalled that it was the same experience when he took over power in 1966, adding that a lot of pressure was on his administration to perform almost immediately after he came to power. He said things would get better with the policies and plans of the new administration. The former head of state also spoke about challenges facing ECOWAS. And still on Wednesday, the Nigerian senators unanimously kicked against plans to increase electricity tariff, describing the move as retrogressive and ill-timed. The upper chamber also mandated its committee on power to investigate the over 2 trillion naira subsidy requirement as alleged by the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu. After a robust debate on a motion by Senator representing Adamawa Central, Iya Abbas, on Wednesday plenary, the lawmakers urged the federal government to immediately stand down the idea of an increased electricity tariff in the country. In his lead debate, Senator Abbas explained that the indebtedness of the country's power sector to electricity generating companies and gas companies had risen to over 3 trillion naira. Contributing to the motion, Senator Abba Moro, representing Benue South, said Nigeria must first be sufficient in generation and distribution of power before considering an increase in tariff. On his part, Senator representing Sokoto South, Aminu Tambuwal, said the removal of any subsidy on electricity is insensitive, describing the move as adding petrol to fire. And on Thursday, authorities of the ECOWAS Judicial Council set to submit its recommendation on better ways to handle matters of the sub-region to the Authority of Heads of State at the end of its meeting held in Abuja. Chairman of the Council and Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, made a declaration while fielding questions from the State House correspondent after a meeting of President Bola Tinubu and the ECOWAS Judicial Council at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Ariwola said the Council had examined the process of member states would approve them. He said the meeting of the Council has been on since Tuesday and that the meeting with the President was to intimate him with plans and decisions of the Council which dwell on better ways to exercise the Council's power within the sub-region. The CJN, however, revealed that the Council set up 2 committees to look into the rules and position or the status of the enforcement of the decisions of the Community Court. The CJN was accompanied by judicial officials from ECOWAS member countries. Still on Thursday, Nigerian Senate confirmed 12 members for the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria with a charge to immediately formulate policies to salvage the country's ailing economy. The MPC is made up of CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso as chairman and 11 others as members. The confirmation followed the presentation of the report of the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions headed by Senator Adetokunbo Abiru. Senator Abiru told his colleagues that the nominees are not only experienced in their field but also possess the requisite qualifications to excel in the MPC. The membership includes 4 deputy governors, Mohammed Abdullahi, Bala Bello, Usoro, and Philip Ikeazo. And on Friday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu led the nation in mourning former Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, describing him as a fearless soldier and unwavering advocate for his people. In a eulogy filled with both grief at the St. Andrew's Cathedral in Mola Street, Owo, Ondo State, the president, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, lauded Akeredolu's indomitable legacy of national service. President Tinubu traced Akeredolu's journey from his distinguished legal career to his pivotal role as governor of Ondo State. He praised his vast intelligence and the profound impact of his leadership, noting there was no point in life where his voice shook in telling his truth, as he was a vastly intelligent man whose passion has created quite a wide vacuum beyond his community. The president emphasized Akeredolu's commitment to serving through democratic means, stating that he recognized that the most pragmatic path to serving humanity is to present ourselves willingly to be chosen by the people. He commended his strength of character and conviction acknowledging the sacrifices he made to serve his community. And still on Friday, the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, expressed commitment to align with President Bola Tinubu-led administration's plan to tackle the pressing issue of food insecurity by ensuring the availability of essential food items to Nigerians. The auction sales of rice commenced on Friday across all areas of customs operations in the country, and it was open to every Nigerian with identifiable identification NIN. Speaking at the flag-off of the rice disbursement program in Lagos, Adeniyi emphasized that the distribution of rice will be targeted at areas of customs operations, ensuring direct access to beneficiaries. He said the NCS secured approval from the government to dispose of the seized food items to needy Nigerians at discounted prices after satisfying the verification process of presenting the National Identification Number NIN, and food items have been certified by NAFDAC for safe consumption of the people. Adeniyi stressed the importance of transparency and accountability in the distribution process, urging Nigerians participating in the exercise to refrain from selling the rice in market or hoarding it for purposes other than domestic consumption. And that's all we have on Track in the Week.